Alright, Print Hustlers, I wanted to go over something that we were actually doing internally, and that's creating a really good marketing content type schedule that you guys can do at your shop too. We just had a meeting. Bridget's behind the camera. Hold on, let me.
Oh no. Hey.
Bridget's shy, but she's our media intern, and we were just having her manage this going forward. And what we did is wanted to create a really cool plan that I'm going to go over with you guys now too. So the goal here is to create something that's really repeatable and easy to be able to constantly generate content that matches your ideal customers. Of course, this isn't relevant if your customers are on Instagram and Facebook and all those other social channels. You know, if they're bigger, older clientele, maybe LinkedIn is better, email is better, phones are better, just talking in person, things like that. So if your clientele is usually more local or a younger demographic that is on social media, this is going to be huge. The first thing you guys need to realize is all the channels that are out there. Depending on the ideal customer, you've got YouTube, which I'm just going to call YT. You've got YouTube Live. You've got Facebook and Facebook Live, Instagram Stories, we'll just call IG, and Stories. Twitter is interesting because I think it's definitely tailoring off, while these I would definitely focus more time on. But again, it totally depends on your audience. You've got SoundCloud, which is audio, and your audio experience. How do people think about you when they're listening to you, or like how does your brand sound? Then you've also got Spotify, which is kind of repurposed of your audio side. So from here, once you've got your kind of buckets of channels, what these have become very interesting is almost more of episodic type of content that you guys want to put out. So the biggest way you can think about it is that as people are consuming content quicker and want things in shorter little bits, these are going to be your distribution channels that you're going to be able to constantly pump out. Now, when we want to say, well, what do we want to post? Everything. Right, so the best example that I can give you is you want to document what you guys are doing as if it's some sort of reality show, and everything that you guys are working on, talking about internally, the things you're doing. I mean, literally, this was a meeting that we had yesterday that I wanted to show you guys what we came and created out of it. So for us, we start to think about, you know, the products and things that we're putting out, different customers and how they're using Printavo, different podcasts with industry leaders. Those are kind of the foundational ideas. I think some things you guys should look at are interviewing other small businesses in the area. So if you guys are targeting local businesses, franchises, ask the owners to talk with them, have a 15-minute podcast conversation. Now, record that on video like we're doing here, and then you're going to take that back and we're going to repurpose it. So let's get into the ideas and just list these out. So you've got interviews, and this is terrible writing, so listening will be easier. And record these interviews on video. So you've got good video, you've got good audio. You know, use an iPhone or the newest Android phones, you'll be able to do that. You've got quotes, so more graphical / photos of what's going on. I think one really great example is you guys can take jobs that you've printed and you can sub in content of the job being produced and give that to your customer to share for their customers too. So take this as an example. Create a template of a bunch of B-roll video of your shop as it runs. Walking into the shop, a press running, someone typing in the computer, entering the job, doing the artwork, all that. Now, leave a couple spots open, and with those spots, you're gonna sub in some content from your higher value clientele with their print going around the press, or with their shirts getting boxed and sent off. Bundle that video, share it on social media, or give it to them to share, and just watch them really reuse it. They're gonna love it. People love to see the behind the scenes. You've got your team. So interview your team. Look at each person. I saw actually Printed Threads was doing a really good job of this. Talk about their favorite food or thing to do or what they like going on things going on after work. That's really great content that you can use. Point of view of the office, day in the life, you walking around, what are you doing on a daily basis? People like to see that too. And contests. So you can launch really neat contests with the goal of collecting emails to then market to later, and then also be able to get more awareness, right? So you can launch a contest like we just did, where you ask someone to tag a friend, you ask them to like the photo, you ask them to share a shirt that, if you're doing retail, that was made by you guys that they bought. So that's big. And then the last one, something that you guys can do, is events. This is so big and undervalued here. And the reason is, and especially if you're in a small town and you feel like there's only so much business, you have the potential to control that audience. So you guys can set up an events, small marathons, family things, every single quarter even, that really bring you and make you guys the center of that town, and will push any sort of competitors out. And this works for big cities too, of course, because there's so many potential more people that can participate in these different events. And what's great is you can find interns, you can find people part-time to help you to own and build out that event and get people together. We have our ideas. The next thing to think about is pushing these out to each channel regularly, okay? I'm gonna go to the next page here and talk to you guys about how you can do this. So an interview has many components, right? This video has audio, it has visual, call it graphic, and it has actually the actual video. So that's 3 pieces of content there that can go out to these different channels. So you've got Twitter, you've got the YouTube. If you did the video live, you've got YouTube Live. And then the audio, you've got, we didn't write over here, but SoundCloud, which then pushes out to iTunes. You can have it, so you have your iTunes podcast. So that's audio, right? Now you've got visual and graphic. You can take screenshots and write a quote over it. If they said something very profound, that's great content there, and you'll push that out over here. And then last one is the original video. Of course, you'll be able to share that video on the YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and more. And that, again, is great content. Now, we are starting to push these out, and we did 1 piece of content. That's awesome. And you can split that out and do it over a week. Well, what else? You can do what's called repurposing. A lot of the content doesn't have to be brand new. You can take existing content that, say, you've been doing for the last few months, go back again, look at the video interview that you did with the small business in your town, and take out different snippets. So take out 15 seconds when they said something really good, or another quote, or you talking over the video and saying, you know, this is a really great point. I just want to emphasize this and something that we all should be doing. And then you cut to the audio there. So that's really, really cool. I think one of the goals to making this also scalable is the person behind this camera is a Bridget to help you guys be able to manage that and continue scaling it. Now the last part here is to make this repeatable. You got to create one of these. This is what we did here. This is a schedule that you guys are going to do to say, here's what we're posting and here's how we're going to manage it. So for example, you create maybe a 3-week plan where you've got Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Let's say you want to make those posts. Well, then you could say, okay, we're going to do a video here, we're going to do audio there, and keep doing that and keep repurposing. And you'll plan for the day before on making that post. And this repurposing isn't very time consuming either. So that's the exciting part, is that you can start doing all this and not have to worry about, well, it's so hard, I don't have the time to do it. Literally take your phone out and just talk to people and bring it to meetings, and next time you meet with a customer, ask them for 10 minutes to interview them, like you're doing this on the go, and you post it straight from your phone. Don't worry about editing, don't worry about what should I talk about, just talk and just do it. Hopefully that was helpful, guys. That's how we do it here, and this is how you guys can do it back home at your shop. Looking forward to seeing some of the effects on Instagram and Facebook.